It's the grandson of right thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Light, little flock. I always say there are two worlds, the spiritual mind and the carnal mind. These two worlds think two different things are important because they're two separate worlds that are two different nations, two different type of people, two different manner, the Bible calls them. They do not agree concerning what's important. They don't agree concerning what's good, nor do they agree concerning what's evil. They're two totally different manner. So now, as I always say, once you understand what manner you are, then you're going to know what perturbs you. You're going to know what irritates you, and you're going to know what is contrary to you. You see it? It's the carnal mind. Now, if you find yourself being spiritually minded, then you're going to find yourself at war with carnally minded people. Not the people themselves. It is the mind that they have within them. That's why we read, our fight is not against flesh and blood. The enemies shall be they of their own household. Our enemies are not flesh and blood. Their enemies shall be they of their own household. Do you understand why I'm saying that? The carnal mind obviously will understand what I've said like this. If the enemies are they of my own household, then the people of my household have become my enemies. So they're no longer my friends. They're no longer my kin. They are now my enemies. Physically, they are my enemies. But if you compare the two scriptures, there has to be something about these other family members that make them your enemies. Not just the fact that they're your enemies because they're your family members. It's something about them that's different than you. What is it that's different? It's the mind. So when you receive the understanding concerning a thing that you would call evil or unclean, they call that good. So then they're looking at you all perplexed, like, why you don't do what's good, man? You're like, because it's not good, it's evil. Well, I love to do it. So then you're calling me evil for doing it. See how people are going to hear everything that you say? They're going to take it all personal if they're carnal, right? See how we don't take it personal? Why? Because we're not carnal, but we're spiritual. We're spiritual minded. That's why we don't take it personal. We were told not to, so we can spiritually discern what's happening. You see what I'm saying? When you're being attacked, when you're being disagreed with, you spiritually discern that it's not about you personally. It's the spiritual mind that they're at war against, which is what's in you. But what's in you is more powerful than what's in them. The spiritual mind is more powerful than the carnal mind. Do I have any precept that I can use that Abba gave us to illustrate that further? One people shall be stronger than the other. There are two nations in your womb, Rebecca. Two manner of people. The elder shall serve the younger. The elder is the carnal mind. It comes first. It's born first in you. When you come here carnally minded. You're born into hell. You're born into death. And you must be born again into life. And out of death or out of darkness into light. Out of death into life. Death is the carnal mind. Life is the spiritual mind. See what I'm trying to explain to you all? They're not the same. The elder shall serve the younger, not the other way around. You were servant to the elder all long enough. And what was the fruit of all that servitude you did? Death. See? So now that elder shall be servant to the younger, who is the spiritual, so that we could have life here. Correct? In this house. You see? So back to the point of one thinks something is important and the other thinks something is important. What do you think it is that he thinks it is important that I'm talking about? Well, I'll break it down for you so that you know. The carnal mind thinks physical labor is important. And we're going to get to it so that you guys don't have to wonder about what I'm saying. You'll know that what I'm saying is true. To the carnal mind, physical labor is what is important to him. Why? Because he believes that his labor his physical labor gives him the reward that he seeks for, whether that be money, whether that be good food to eat, whether that be the penthouse suite. He believed that the labor of his hands, the type of work that he does, and how well he does it, he believed that determines these other things of his life: what he'll wear, what he shall eat, what he shall drink, what he shall put on. You see how there's two worlds, and Yahusha said, take no thought of those exact things, because the Gentiles think after that. So when it comes to Gentile, that means that other nations other than Israel. Well, how do we spiritually interpret that? That means a carnally minded person is a Gentile. Because if the true Jew is one who is of the heart and circumcision of the heart and is inward and not outward, well, then the same goes for the one who's a Gentile. Gentile is not one outwardly, but is one of the heart. What he thinks about. Let's see. Take no thought of what you shall eat or you shall drink or what you shall put on, because the Gentiles seek after these things. The carnally minded people think of carnal things, correct? The carnal mind, carnal thing. The carnal mind minds carnal things. The spiritual mind minds spiritual things. So if you're not thinking about what to wear or what to drink or what to put on, then what are you thinking about? Spiritual nourishment, spiritual drink, spiritual comfort, spiritual rest. You mind spiritual things. Think on these things. Things that are of a good report, things that are pure, things that are true. Think on these things. You see how it's telling your mind to be transformed? Be ye not conformed to the image of this world, but be ye transformed. So let's see. He doesn't want me to conform myself to the ways of this world. What will transform me out of those ways? Something that I dress, I change how I dress, because this is what the carnally minded people who say they love God will tell you. Change the way that you dress. So an example of this would be a harlot who wears a mini skirt, some high heels, and some fishnet leggings. She's supposed to change her high heels, put on some flat little penny loafers or something, and take the fishnets off her legs and put a skirt down to the foot and take the mini skirt off and everything and change the liquor that she drink and only drink water now. And you see what I mean? That's what they'll tell you. Physical things that will make you right with God. You weren't right with God because of how you dressed, then obviously is what they're telling you. You weren't right with God because of how you were eating, how you were drinking, and the things you were doing. So then if you want to be right with God, change the things you do. What did I tell you they focused on and what's important to them? What you do with your hands, physically. That's what they focus on. They clean the outside of the cup. Isn't the outside what you wear, what you eating, people can see you doing? They clean that and indeed appear outwardly righteous unto men. It only pleases men. Men is the carnal mind. It only pleases them. But you change. Oh, that woman was a prostitute, a harlot, and a whore. Look how she's changed her life around. Look how much of a different woman she is. Did you not read where it says, the wolves are dressing in sheep's clothing? So then what woman is wearing the sheep's clothing? The one with the fishnets or the one with the damn dress down to the ankles? So that means if a woman wanted to deceive you that she was righteous, she would change what she eats. She would change the clothes that she has on. She would wear a prayer shawl on her head. She would stop wearing all this fancy hairstyles and weave and wear her own hair. What about all of that has changed the workings of her heart, her attitude, her state of being, her meekness, and her obedience? In other words, how has that changed her heart? This is what Yahusha was talking about, isn't it? When they clean the outside, what do you guys think it means by clean the outside? Who is the one he said was doing this cleaning of the outside? The Pharisees. What does that mean? Does that mean somebody who doesn't say they serve God? Or does it actually mean somebody who says they serve God? And somebody who says they know the right way for you to serve God? Those are the carnally minded people that are the next level of this warfare. You're used to dealing with the first level, which are people who obviously hate you, people who outwardly show that they hate you, people who are in a disagreement with you, obviously. But what about the ones who are in disagreement with you? Not obviously. What about the ones who are disguising their intent of their heart? What about them? How will you sift them out of your midst if you can't see them? Because all you're looking at is what they've done outwardly. That's what Yahushua was talking about. But clean the inside of the first, the inside of the cup. Isn't that what he said? Y'all be like, yeah, that's what he said, grandson. All right, then. So it shouldn't be any discrepancy about what I'm saying here today. Should it? They're more concerned with what you do outwardly than what you do inwardly. So that means that we who are spiritual are more concerned with what we do what? Can it be the same? You guys know it can't, because God said that they can't be. They're two matter. So what kind of people you want to say? They're one matter? They're the same? Is that what you're saying? Well, they're not. And like I've said, you think that means there are good people and bad people. That ain't what it means. That's not what it means. There are vessels fitted for destruction and vessels fitted for mercy. Mercy means you didn't do anything. So what did it say about Jacob and Esau? Watch how because it's not talking about the two men only. It's talking about you. It's talking about the spiritual mind and the carnal mind and the war that's raged between them two. How it will play out. What we saw was Esau came out first. So that means the first world, the carnal world, is going to play out until it's completed, until it's done. And then God is going to reject it. All the Edomites will be destroyed to the last one. All the carnally minded people who serve after red, who are led by the red devil, the red serpent we read about in Revelation called red. That's why Edom, Esau's name is Edom, which means red. It's a signal to tell you what God's talking about. He's talking about the carnal mind. The carnal mind does not want the spiritual mind to be born, but it's already happened. He couldn't stop it. Did you read Revelation? The spiritual mind is born. So now the spiritual mind is able to speak, because that's what a baby does when he learns and gets off the milk and is weaned. He starts to speak and open his mouth and start talking. Well, there was somebody trying to stop that from happening, to kill him as soon as he was born. You didn't read about Jacob holding on to the ankle of Esau? Because they were wrestling in her womb. Wrestling means fighting, struggling, striving over something. So it is here. The womb is the earth. The place where you is right now. This the womb. You see that? The waters that you're inside of, that you need to be born again out of so that you can breathe. So Jacob and Esau were inside of the womb. They fought. One was stronger than the other one. So when people see Jacob holding the heel of Esau, they presume that Esau is the stronger one because he came out first. But he came out first because his brother was compassionate and let him come out first by grace. But y'all don't know that part then. You got to read and study a little bit deeper to get those type of scriptures in your hand to be able to see them and read them. Which is what we're going to talk about here today. How is it the spiritual man is able to get these deeper things when the other man who is carnal, who think he's serving God with his works, is actually not serving God at all? His work is vain. He will say that it's not to God, but God will reply to him, I don't know you. So what is all this stuff that you said you did for me? This is what I'm telling you guys. Y'all think it's a bunch of people who just hate God, who hate Christ, who obviously do, profess that they do. What about all the ones that profess that they do, but actually do hate God, but they say that they love God? What about them? You're around them every single day. People that say they love God, people that say they teach others, people that say that they need to do this, what others need to do, and what other people need to do to get right with God. They do it and do it and do it so much that they're even going to tell Yahushua to his face, I did this in your name. I did that in your name. I did many good works in your name. And I will profess to them, I don't know you. Wolf, told you. You did works. That's what you said. So why is the grandson telling the whole wide world right now, your works are vain? If what Yahushua said would happen ain't going to happen. It is. They're going to say, our works did this. Our works, our works, our works. I don't know you. Never did know you. Your works didn't make you know me any better. I still don't know you. If you're carnally minded, you're not mine. I'm spiritual. God is a spirit, and they who worship him must. And I guess you guys are going to keep thinking that you can worship him in the flesh, even though it says you must worship him in spirit. Now, how do you do that? How do you worship God in spirit? Because I can hear you guys all tell me, and I can see you guys all show me how you think God wants to be served with outward appearance, with works of the flesh, with you physically doing something with your body. That's what you think please God. That's what you think it is. But then is any of that spiritual? Because the spiritual work that's done, where is it done at? You tell me where it's done at, and then I'm going to tell you the truth of where it's done. Since we must worship God in spirit, how did Christ say we approach God? Where do we go to do this worshiping? Where should we go? What would you say? Well, Yahusha said, go into the secret place where men can't see you. And then when you pray, go somewhere where men can't see you. And when you give alms, make sure that don't no man see you do it. So that's three witnesses that's making sure people don't see you do something. But yet you're worshiping God when you do it. So you see why men won't do it? Because they only want to do things that men can see them do. Men are not slick. They can't hide the fact that they want to please men when they do something. They can't hide it. They straight got to show you what they're doing. And then they try to show you what you're doing, saying they're motivating you to do it. That's bullshit. You're just showing men so they can see things, they can say with their mouths what a good person you are for what you did. You gave alms, you filmed yourself doing it, you blew a trumpet, you made sure everybody could see you giving the alms, and you say you did it for God. He's going to reject you because you did it by the work of your own hands. God hates that. When will you guys realize that? He calls it filthy rags. You guys keep throwing them filthy rags at him, telling them that it's something good. I told you, if you're carnally minded, you think it's good. It isn't. Don't give a fuck how good you think it is. You're a waste. You're a waste. Everything you did was a waste. It was vain. Isn't it true? So then what must be the right way to worship him then? If we know the vain way, what is the vain way now that we've discussed it, guys? Just so that all the flockulators are protected from this vain worship of God. What is the vain worship? It's outward. It's fleshly. It's works with the hands. That's what it is. God will be pleased if I take this food and give that man over there half of it. God will be pleased if I do that. Let me go do it. If God will be pleased, then why do men have to see you do it? Well, I'm not doing it so men see me. Are you sure? Because if you are, then you have your reward. So it's time you all start worshiping the Father in spirit, where there is no vainglory involved. Can you accept that? Men have a hard time doing that. And especially the carnally minded man, he cannot do it. That's why the Bible told you all that the carnally minded cannot inherit the kingdom. They cannot please God. But it's like men hear that and they're rebellious as hell and still consider that they can do something to please God. No, you can't. Because you're not doing the work necessary that he told you. So if you're not doing what he told you, then are you actually listening to him? But many there be that feel like they are listening to God. Well, God, you told me this and you told me this. His son told you exactly what God wanted you to know, didn't he? Well, God did say, hear ye him, grandson. So yeah, you're right. And then what did he say when he spoke to us? What was his commandment that he gave us? To love one another. So then is that what you spend all your time doing and spend all your time giving? Yeah. All right. Well, then you're good then. Yeah, I am good. All right then. So what you here talking to me for about? It's just you sounded like you weren't actually telling us to do what God said to do. We on the same team wearing the same jerseys. How come you don't recognize me? Maybe we're not on the same team and maybe we're not wearing the same jerseys, my man. That's what Yahusha made clear to everybody. There's a birth of a new. So that means it wasn't here before. It's birth of a new. And then the old is going to try to stop the new from coming. That's war. That's the war you're experiencing. Stop this, man. Everything that's coming down on you, all the emotions, all the energy, all the strife, all the turmoil, everything that you've gone through in your life is to stop you from being birthed into the truth of who you are. All the labels that they put on you is to all stop you from claiming the truth of who you are. And once you know the truth of who you are, you will claim it. And when you claim it, it brings everything around you into the truth of what they are. For instance, there are people on the earth calling themselves Israelites and Jews, but they're actually not that at all. But they keep lying, saying that they are. So what happens when the true man, that is actually the true Israelite and Jew, stands up? What happens? He's exposed that he lied to you guys. So is that what happened on the earth? Everybody accepted the so-called Jews, so-called Israelis, or whatever they call themselves. Everybody accepted them as God's people and God's elect chosen people. But then when the Negro stood up and said, yeah, I know you guys called me Negro. I know. I know you called me black. I know you called me this. I know you called me that. But I'm not any of that. See all the stuff, the labels that they put so that you would never claim the truth. Why would they do that? Did you read Psalm 83? Cut the name of Israel off, that it be no more, and remember it. Whose remembrance? The true people's remembrance, that they don't remember anymore. But we remember. That's why I am here, because we remember. So when we remember, then your life falls, and it exposes the fact that you are who you said you were all along. Correct? All right, then. So who wants that to be happening to them? Nobody does. But nobody will be free until that happens. You see it? You put one in bondage. You put everybody in bondage. You curse Israel, you shall be cursed. What do you think it means to curse a person? Oh, yeah, I forgot. Y'all thought that meant to say fuck you to them. I know. I forgot. I'm dealing with carnally minded people in this world. Well, curse means to tell them a lie and they believe the lie. So what's the greater curse? For me to tell a black person, fuck you? Or for me to tell a black person, you know you're black? Do you know that you're a Negro? Do you know that you're African American? Now, let's keep it real. Everybody listening to me. If the so-called Negroes accept these terms put on them, will they be free? I'm asking you all. Y'all all say y'all are loving people that serve God. So then if you're loving people, what happened to the Negro? Y'all just forgot to love him, huh? You forgot to tell your brother the truth of who he is. Interesting how everybody forgot that. But they say they love, and they say they do what God says, and you see they keep God's ways. God's ways is that you love one another. That's what his ways are. The will of the Father is that you love one another. How the hell do you say you love God, but you hate your brother who's sitting right there in front of you? You lie to him every day about who he is. You lie to him about what he is. You lie to him about his value. You lie to him about his truth. You lie to him about his name, but you say you love God? Interesting. Like I've said, these two worlds are at war, right? So let's read about these two different mindsets and what they will chase after and what they will garner in their lives. Let's read about it. The book of Ecclesiasticus 38, also known as the book of Sirach. Ecclesiasticus chapter 38, verse 24. Watch this, little flock. The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure. Stop. What does that mean, little flockulators? A man who becomes wise, his wisdom comes because he has the opportunity of leisure. What is leisure? Rest, chill, relaxing, sitting back, not doing a whole lot. That's what he has the leisure to do. That's how he got his wisdom, according to the book of Ecclesiasticus. Okay? And he that hath little business shall become wise. Stop. Didn't that mean the same thing? So see how it's adding the salt on top of the steak that it set before you? Man gets wisdom when he has leisure time. Can he have leisure time if he's cumbered about with much working? No. See? So you got to decide what you want to get. Look, guys, how y'all don't understand this yet? I don't understand. It's very strange. Cain's name means to acquire and to get. That's the mark of the beast, to acquire and to get for self. That is the mark that you're a beast. A beast thinks about what it will eat for itself, what it will have for comfort itself. That's what a beast does. You are to be not conformed to that image, but transformed out of there, how you think. You don't think like a beast Neanderthal anymore. Now you think like the spirit, which is God, which is love. Now you have life and peace with it. the new Jerusalem coming down as a bride adorned for her husband, which is the new thoughts that been given unto you, which is the husband of the house. Now you have the new thoughts, which are going to automatically make you feel different because you've accepted the new thoughts. And as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So now you have the new right thought added to your vessel, which makes right feeling come in, which is the city of Jerusalem that's adorned as a bride for her bridegroom. Can y'all understand what the grandson's saying to you today? So now you had leisure and free time, and you had little business. So you were able to become wise. Now let's just test this theory and see. I was working at General Motors all the way up until the year 2016. I was on the job and I'm sitting there and Abba says to me, get up and go home. How am I gonna this? How am I gonna that? Get up and go home and take no thought for those things, but follow me. Leave your net and follow me. Okay, and I did. What did I say on my song? I followed him and we ended up on a throne. I didn't know where I was going. Like Abraham didn't know. But when the Spirit call you, you come. If you're spiritually minded, and I was. So I left General Motors. Now, what do you guys hear coming out of me here at the School of Marvelous Light? Foolishness? Would you say that's what you hear here? Or would you hear wisdom? What do you say? If you hear wisdom, then that means obviously Abba brought me from my business so that I can have time and leisure to do what? Get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding. There's two worlds. Who's going to get the wisdom and understanding? Obviously, the spiritually minded man will. Who's going to get the money and the riches and the gold and the glamour and the fame? Who's going to get that? Obviously, the carnally minded man is. One thinks one is important, the other thinks the other is important. What do you think the carnally minded man thinks is important? Listening to God and his word and getting wisdom and understanding? He ain't got enough time to do that because he's too busy focusing on his work and his labor and his business and his money to focus on getting any damn wisdom. Is that right or is that right? The wolf of Wall Street ain't called the wolf of Wall Street for no reason. He liked to get, and he's a beast at getting. Even if you have to destroy somebody else's life to get, he's willing to do it. That's the mark of a fucking wolf. That's the mark of a beast. Hey, why you taking that spikenard and putting it on Yahushua's feet and everything? Don't you know that could have been sold and the money given to the poor? Sounds good to the surface, but you don't care about the poor. You're only saying that because you carry the bag and what's put therein. You get to carry it around. You like the feeling of having all that jingling ass money on your hip. That's why you wanted the spikenard to be sold, not to be given to no damn poor. You don't care about the poor. You care about you. Have I not chosen you 12 and one of you is a devil? I told you what devil means. Devil means Edomite. Devil. Look it up if you guys think I'm just saying this. Look up the word Mount Seir. That's Edom's home, Mount Seir. Seir means he-goat, shaggy he-goat, devil, deceiver. That's what it means. So then if he said one of you is a deceiver, what is he saying? One of you is a shaggy, stinking ass he-goat. You ain't no sheep. You a he-goat. Correct? Right there. Right there. I'm going to separate the sheep from the goats. Put the sheep on my right hand, put the goats on the left hand. Ain't that what he said? Because they two different minds. You see that there? The sheep on the right hand. Where did Yahushua tell them to cast their nets so that they could catch them some fish? Was it on the right hand side? Yeah, it was. Of course it always is. When you're trying to do something with the carnal mind, you end up in vain. Your net end up empty. You end up with nothing. But when you put some work out there and you did it through the spiritual mind, through faith and through love and through hope, now and through wisdom, now you're going to reap a benefit. Continuing. How can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow? Stop. When you at work, that's what that means. See how God said, come away? I'm not making it up. That's what he said to me, and that's actually what I did. And then 2017, he led me out into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil for 40 days. That was 2017. So then it seems like it's all clicking. 16, you left your job, you come home, you start studying the word of God. Then the very next year, God takes you out into the wilderness. And then you come out and you've been preaching ever since then. And you don't see why God took me away from my vain labor? You don't see why he did it? Are you guys witnessing why he did it? Do I seem to be able to do what he's called me to do? Do I seem to be a workman approved of him or not, or ashamed? What would you guys say? All right. How can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow and that glorieth in the gold? Stop. Gold, working. The gold is what you poke the cattle with. So it just means working. Being a supervisor at work. Hey, man, get back to work. That's poking with a gold. You glory in that. You're happy and you feel good that you're a supervisor and a plant manager, and all of these titles are now associated with your name, and you glory in that and feel like you've done work that's not vain. This is good work. I mean, I take care of my family. I put my kids in college. I pay all my bills, and I wear nice clothes and eat good steak from Benihana. So what the hell's going on? It doesn't look wrong to me. It looked like God blessing me. But you ain't got no wisdom because you're too busy glorying in your work, holding on to your work that you do. Like I told you guys, that's all they think is important. Is it coming clear? Okay then. Watch this. That driveth the oxen and is occupied in their labors. Stop. Do you hear how clear this is? Occupied in their labor, in their work. So like I was occupied in my work. I was even a team leader. So I had a higher position delegating to people what to do. Say I had the gold in my hand. Get to work, Israelite. Come on now, we need this many. We got to do this many. They gave us a quota. Let's get it done. You hear that shit? How can I be focused on what God wants me to do if I'm focused on what my boss wants me to do all day long? All right, it in. All right, it in. And is occupied in their labors, and whose talk is of bullocks, what they do all day at work. That's what men talk about. They go to the bar. Hey, what you do for a living? Oh, I do this. What you do for a living? Oh, I do this. I've been doing this for 15 years. Blah, blah. They glory in that shit. That's all they talk about. Yeah, what about what you did for Abba? Oh, shit, I didn't even think about that. I was too busy focused on the work that I had to do every single day. Watch. Verse 26. He giveth his what? His mind to make furrows, and is diligent to give the kine fodder. Kine means his animal. He's using this workman of a farmer and an animal because that's what it was during his time. I'm giving you the analogy today. Plants, working at Amazon and shit. We're in the warehouse. You see, when you work there, you're occupied with your job. You go home, you're thinking about tomorrow. You go to work, you're thinking about what you're going to do the next day at work. What needs to be done? What work isn't finished? Who needs to do what? You're so focused on that all damn day long that your mind is given to it. Your mind is, see, verse 27. So every carpenter and workmaster, see, everybody that does his job, that laboreth night and day, and they that cut and grave seals. See, it doesn't matter what your occupation is what he's saying. Anybody who's doing work, that work every day, and are diligent to make a great variety. They're focused on doing all kinds of things at work, and give themselves to counterfeit imagery. Counterfeit imagery. They're thinking and they're imagining in their minds something that's vain. That we're in there is no profit, but they're imagining it anyway. So then if I get the job done tomorrow when I go to work, if I do that, then maybe I'll get a promotion or maybe I'll get a raise or something. So yeah, tomorrow I'll focus on doing the extra work that goes undone. I'll focus on doing that. Maybe I'll get a raise. So you're not even talking to God right there. You're not even talking to the Spirit. Spirit don't give a damn about no damn promotion or raise, no damn job. But yet it's all people think that God has blessed them. Yeah, he got me a better, higher paying job. He must have really blessed me, huh? Maybe. The fruit of it will show you who you got it from. The end result of it is what's going to show you. Many people thought they got something good, but they didn't. Yeah, I got a better job making more money, but this nigga more stressed out. Y'all must not have heard Biggie. More money, more problems, my nigga. Guess y'all must not believe that. counterfeit imagery and watch to finish a work. See, the watching. They're not watching for the spirit, what the spirit got to say. They're watching to finish the work they got to do at work. Correct? All right, then. The smith also. So a nigga, a blacksmith. Even him. See, doesn't matter what you do for a living. If you're doing some work, you focused on that work with your mind. So easy to understand. The smith also sitting by the anvil. That's the piece of metal he uses to hammer the sword that he's making on top of. You see that pointy piece of metal that used to drop in the cartoons and land on the nigga head and all this shit? An anvil, see? And considering the iron work, he's looking at it, he's studying what he's making. The vapor of the fire wasteth his flesh. So while he's sitting in front of the fire looking at the sword that he's making, the flames and the heat from the kiln is what he puts the oven that he puts the steel into to melt it and to make it molten and everything. That shit is very hot. Well, it's burning his flesh all day long. It's singeing his hairs, burning his flesh, got singed hairs in his beard, burning the hairs on his arms, singeing his flesh. He doesn't even care. He's so focused on the work that he's doing, he disregards that discomfort. Both men are doing the same thing, but they're doing it considering two different things. One is the blacksmith doing the physical work. He doesn't care about the pain, the suffering, because he's focused on revealing this work and craftsmanship that he's working on to its perfection. Well, so should you if you're spiritual. You should be laboring a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. What are you working on? What are you hammering out if you're the spiritual man? The word of God, so that it become a sharp sword, so when you cut, or in other words, when you use it, it's effective to the person who's listening. It doesn't take you much strength to use the word of God to prick a man's heart. You prick a man's heart easily. You just poke his heart with the word because you got wisdom that knows you what word to say, because the spirit guides you in everything that you should say, because it's the spirit of truth. And when the spirit of truth is guiding you, then you ain't got to worry about what you got to say. It's going to tell you what to say in the moment. And if you listen to what he says, then you will cut that man to the quick, because that's the spirit of God, which is the sword you got in your hand. Read the Bible and see if it's so. Right there. It wastes his flesh, and he fighteth with the heat of the furnace, like I described to you. The noise of the hammer and the anvil is ever in his ears. Cling, 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 cling. Looking at the damn thing he's making. Cling, cling, cling. He's so focused. He hasn't eaten. He hasn't thought about anything else. He hasn't focused on nothing else. He cling, cling, cling. Cling, 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 cling. It's not perfect. I got to make it perfect. Cling, cling, cling. It's ever in his ears. And his eyes look still upon the pattern of the thing that he maketh. Is it right yet? Cling, cling, cling. Let me see if it's perfect. Cling, cling. So is the spiritual man with the word of God. Oh, it's a little bend in it still. Cling, cling, cling. Let me look. It's not perfect. Cling, cling. They're both working, but yet one man doesn't even hate on the other man for his work. He just tells him it's vain. The other man who's doing the vain work, he hates on the man who's doing the other anvil work with his hammer and his sword. He hates him for it. He's envious of him. He thinks he's not working at all. Can't y'all see this? I hope you do, and I hope that you can, so you're no longer deceived. Continuing. So his eyes look upon the pattern of the thing which he maketh. He setteth his mind to finish his work, and watcheth it to polish it perfectly. I can't stop working. Cling, 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 clings. Put it in the fire. Cling, cling. Put it in some water. Look at it. Put it in the fire again. Bling, bling. I can't stop until it's perfect. I am obsessed. My mind is obsessed with this until it's perfect. Be ye perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. Get wisdom, and with all you're getting, get understanding. Ooh, it's hot up in here, y'all. Got to give me some oxygen. Not oxygen. I got to give me some oxygen. All right. So he's diligent about his work. He won't stop until it's finished. Remember, there are two men. Which one are you? Which worker are you? Are you the one sitting there hammering, looking at the sword? Or are you the one in the spiritual blacksmith? Which one are you? Watch this. So doth the potter. See how he's going from profession to profession to profession, showing you it doesn't matter what your profession is. You're all doing the same thing. So in other words, if you're a car salesman, if you're a businessman, if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you're a policeman, if you're a fireman, if you're a president of the United States, it doesn't matter if you're a singer or a rapper or a musician or a painter. It doesn't matter what it is. You all work the same damn way. You want it to be perfect before you present it. You work diligently until it's perfect. What about the spiritual work that needs to be done that everybody neglects to do, the weightier matters that need to be handled? What about that? No laborers there. Well, those laborers are few. I already know it is, because God told me that there are few. Pray for some more, because there ain't too many niggas hammering out the word of God that can slice and dice with no damn problem and no struggle. Niggas are struggling. They only want to fight against people who are lesser than them. But if they see somebody who they perceive is stronger than them in the spirit, they won't even open their mouth to ask them a damn question. They scared of that nigga to even ask him anything for years before they finally come forward and say, yeah, man, that's something I've been wanting to ask you. Why is that? If what you're saying is so right, then what the hell are you coming over asking me about what I'm saying? Better make sure that you're the right mind. So doth the potter sitting at his work. See, he works at a wheel. The wheel spin. He's got the clay. He's forming it, right? And turning the wheel with his feet. Like I just told you, he's sitting there at the wheel and shit, spinning the clay. Who is always carefully set at his work. Always carefully focused. He's shaping the clay right now, see? He's focused. He always is. And maketh all his work by number. See? That's the first edition pot that I made. That's the 7th edition pot that I made. It's a nice limited edition right there, isn't it? That's all men do. See? He fashioneth the clay, like I told you, with his arm. See? And boweth down his strength before his feet. He applieth himself to lead it over, and he is diligent to make clean the furnace. He does everything, clean up everything, polishes tools, make sure everything is in the right spot. He's very diligent about his work, that is. Both men are, but one man works in vain and one man works and it's not in vain. It's in truth, in spirit. Can't you hear it? Watch this. All these, so the potter, the carpenter, the smith, all of them, you see? These trust to their hands. They enter not in for faith, but as it were, unbelief is why they didn't enter in. But they sought it not by faith, but as it were, by the works of their what? Can you understand me? Hope you can. Watch this. All these trust to their hands, and every one is wise in his work. See? Each one of them. The potter, he's wise when it concerning clays and the things that make it spin and the technique and how to do it. He knows that. The other guy don't know it. Just like the smith. He knows what irons to mix with what and what metals to make and how boiling temperature and whatever the hell else you call it, the melting temperature and what the thing that you stick in there. He knows all that shit, the names of it, how to make it work and everything. The potter don't know that shit. Just like the carpenter don't know. But the carpenter knows about drywall. The nigga knows about how to put a support beam. The nigga knows how to build a foundation for a house and build a house from scratch and to the finished result. And they all got their skills. They all got their knowledge. You see it there, little flockulators? Without these cannot a city be inhabited. So you need those workers to keep the lights on, to repair things that are broken. See, that the carnal mind works in that way. Like I told you what I use when the man says, hey, you know how to work on cars? I said, yeah. And I fixed the starter. And then his mother said, my hot water heater is broke. Can you fix it? And then I fixed it. See how the carnal mind is able to help you to do that? To work diligently with your hands and to produce a work. You see it? Right there. So that's what keeps the city inhabited or city running. And they shall not dwell where they will, nor go up and down. Okay? They shall not be sought for in public council. They shall not be sought for. These workers, that is. They shall not sit on the judge's seat. So then workers are like Amazon and at the plant and everything. They're not called upon for any type of counsel for the city. The city doesn't come to your job and get you guys and say, what do you guys think we should do about this problem down here, downtown? They don't ask you. They don't inquire to you, even though you know what the hell you got to do, which is your work. You see it? Nor do they sit in the high in the congregation. Excuse me. They shall not sit on the judge's seat, nor understand the sentence of judgment. They cannot declare justice and judgment, and they shall not be found where parables are spoken. Who was found where parables are spoken? Those who follow after Yahusha, which obviously means those who follow after the Spirit, are found where parables are spoken. But they will maintain the state of the world. See, the carnal world, they maintain the state of it. They keep it functioning with their work. You see it there, little flockulators? They maintain the state of the world, and all their desire is in the work of their craft. Everything they desire, everything they think about is the work that they do in the world that they're building up. The carnal world, which is all vain because it will all be burnt with fervent heat. You see it? So now, that's the one kind of man. We just read about him, right? Go to 39, verse 1. Now let's read about the other guy. Let's read about the other carpenter. You see, Yahushua was a carpenter. What kind of carpenter was he? To build what? Well, he said a man who builds his house on sand, it will fall. But if a man builds his house on a solid rock, it shall stand. So Yahushua is teaching you how to build your house, which is your body. That's the kind of carpenter he is. Now, this kind of carpenter, what does he focus on? What is his mindset on? And what does he do all day? When he's hammering out and he's looking at his thing he's building, what is he doing? Well, let's see. We're going to get into it and find out. But he that giveth his mind, see, give his mind to the law of the Most High. What is the law of the Most High? Yahushua told you what it was. So those men who think about that and is occupied in the meditation thereof, sitting there thinking. So what did Yahushua mean when he said this? When God was telling us this here, what did he really mean? What was the deeper meaning of what he said there? See what he's thinking about? See what he's looking at? How can I make this a little bit more sharper on this side? What does he really mean there? Let me hammer it out some more. He's searching more scriptures. He's hammering out that thing more. And he holds it up. Oh, there's the defect. Let me hammer it out. I see it because of something he read in the word. See what I'm trying to explain to you, little flock? So he's occupied in the meditation thereof. Will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in what? Prophecies. See, when you're occupied in that, then God will reward you. And when he rewards you, he does it openly, which means people will see the reward that you found. What did I find when I searched the prophecies of God? I found myself. See how when you search correctly, you get a great reward? I found who I am in the prophecies of God. Now, I've told you all that openly, haven't I? I am the branch. The branch is a prophecy of a man to come in the end times, who is the servant of God, who will come to reprove the world of its sin, its judgment, and the fact that it doesn't worship Christ, which is why the world is being condemned, because it believed not Christ. So the Spirit of truth is going to come to tell you everything that Christ told you, or as it said, remind you of everything that he has said. And those who love Christ will be comforted by this servant named the branch, because he represents God's grace being sent to them to comfort them, to remind them, and to reprove everything else that came against them. Can you hear that? In other words, to save. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? If God said he shall make his tabernacle among his people, what does that mean, flockulators? And he shall dwell with them and be amongst them. What does that mean? His temple is the body. So then that means that he has chosen a place to dwell inside of so that he can be among his people. Correct? That's the branch. Continuing, watch this. He will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. See? What that mean? Why is the branch all capitalized in the Bible? That's where he's at. Everybody else is just running around. Yeah, man, we know. That's Jesus, man. That's Jesus. Jesus said, I'm the true vine. How did he find that? Because he diligently searched. That's how he knows these things. He said he's the true vine. He did say he's the true vine. Ye are the branches. He did say that. So then I was wrong, but nobody wants to say they're wrong. Nobody wants to admit, damn, I didn't know what I thought I knew. Nobody wants to do that, you see. He will seek out the secrets of grave sentences. See, he will not stop. Just like that man won't stop until he gets it perfect. This spiritual man won't stop until he understands the word of God perfectly. And where subtle parables are, he will be there also. He will seek out the secrets of grave sentences and be conversant in dark parables. He will be able to speak things that are mysteries to other people they had not heard before. See what I'm trying to explain to you, little flock? Like the question, who is the man whose name is the branch? Have you heard this breakdown of the grandson? No, I never knew anything about a grandson of God. I never even thought or heard anything about it. I know. See how you never heard or thought? How come I have? And then how come when you see what I have showed you, how come you can't deny that what I'm telling you is true? If you knew the truth all along. Maybe you didn't know it perfectly. You see what I mean? Watch. He shall serve among great men and appear before princes. He will travel through strange countries, for he hath tried the good and the evil among men. He will give his heart to resort early to I am that made him. And he will pray before the Most High, and will open his mouth in prayer and make supplication for his sins. When the great I am will, he shall be filled with the spirit of understanding. Isn't that what the prophecy says about the man whose name is the branch? He shall have the spirit of might, spirit of wisdom, spirit of counsel. This is the results that you get when you do all of this searching diligently that he said. Finding out the dark sentences, searching out the prophecies, searching out the mysteries. The end result of that is you get the spirit of God, the spirit of understanding. He shall pour out wise sentences and give thanks unto I am in his prayer. See, he shall direct his counsel, the spirit of counsel, and knowledge, the spirit of knowledge, and his secrets shall he meditate. See, things that he knows that nobody else knows. That's what a secret is. Like I told you guys about the branch. I meditated on it until it was revealed totally to me, and then I told you guys. And then I'd be like, y'all ain't never heard that before, have you? Y'all be like, nope. See? He shall show forth that which ye have learned. Is this true? Is that what the grandson is doing? Showing you what he learned? And shall glory in the law of the covenant of I am. Glory in it. Love, 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 love covers a multitude of sins. Love covers a multitude of sins. You want to be forgiven, then you must love much. Because if you don't love, then you won't be forgiven. And then you won't be living. Y'all hear me? You hear me? And shall glory in the law of the covenant of I am. Many shall commend his understanding. Well, that guy knows. Shit, that guy knows. What did they be saying about me? I told you guys. Brother came right up to me and said, man, I don't know anybody that knows this word like you do. I tell everybody that I see that nobody knows the word like the grandson knows it. He said that. Well, there's a reason he said that, because he's commending me for my understanding. See? And he showed do for you if you do the right searching. See? And so long as the world endureth, it shall not be blotted out. His understanding, see? His memorial shall not depart away, and his name shall live from generation to generation. People will always talk about that man who showed them the right path. Nations shall show forth his wisdom. They're going to talk about the things that this person who revealed the thing talked about. For instance, the example that I use for you guys is who is the branch. If you receive what I have told you concerning the branch, then you will also go, damn, mosquito trying to get a bite off me. Then you will go forth through the world telling them about the branch and showing them that they didn't know about it, the prophecy. They didn't know either. See, you're going to show forth this same wisdom that you have received from the one who searched the mystery out. See what I'm trying to tell to you, little flock? Nations shall show forth his wisdom, and the congregation shall declare his praise. If he die, he shall leave a greater name than 1,000. If he live, he shall increase his name. See, grandson the right thought name, which is going to keep increasing and keep increasing and keep increasing until finally nobody can deny it anymore. This guy is talking about something that the whole entire church has neglected to even bring up. This capital name, branch, is in the Bible. How come this Bible does not talk about a man? It says his name, he's a man whose name. So then how come the whole wide world does not talk about a name in there and a man in there whose name is totally capitalized, who's supposed to come? His name is the branch. How come nobody talks about that? Because they don't know it, understand it, because it's a secret, it's a mystery, it needs to be revealed. You hear that? You hear that? Yet have I more to say, which I have thought upon, for I am filled as the moon at the full. I got so much wisdom I want to share with y'all, little flock. Hearken unto me, you holy children, set apart. See, children. Now, what did I say my name was? The branch, which also is interpreted sprout. What do I do when I talk to the people? I cause the spiritual people that are out there to sprout. Have I told you guys that? Have I admitted it to you? Now, this sprout is the grandson. That's like his code name. He's hidden, but he's the grandson of God. So his position, you will always find it in the Bible as the grandson. And for instance, God is the son. Adam is the son of God. So the son of God is Abel, who was cut off. Isaac is the son of Abraham, which represents the son of God. So the son of that son is the elect Israel, or Jacob. And Esau is rejected. So then David is the son of Jesse, but the branch comes from the shoot of Jesse. So we know he comes from that bloodline, but he's the branch of it. So he's the third part, which means he's the son of the son, who is David's son, the one we're reading here today. And he shall build the temple. Who built the temple other than the grandson in the Bible? It's always the grandson. That's the forgotten part. That's the mystery. I'm revealing that. You see what I'm saying to you today? Now, if what I'm saying is a lie, that me as the branch, when I speak to the spirits, they sprout. If what I'm saying is a lie, then this won't be written here, what we're about to read. But it is written, and we're about to read it. Let's read it. He said, I got a whole lot I want to say to y'all. I'm full like the moon, right? Hearken unto me, you holy children, set apart children, and bud forth as a rose growing by the brook of the field. Bud forth. Sprout. Listen to me, holy children, and sprout. That's why he's got a capital P on preacher. The grandson does. Have you noticed that when you read Ecclesiastes? This is Ecclesiasticus. Did you read Ecclesiastes and see hearken to the preacher with a capital P? And the capital P, preacher, when you look up that word is collector of sentences. So listen to the collector of sentences. Somebody was doing some diligent work collecting all of this stuff up so that he could deliver it, while everybody else was doing vain labor. They were laboring in vain in vanity. That's what Solomon said they was doing, all this vanity. Instead of doing all that vanity shit, you should be fearing God and keeping his commandment. What we just read here. If you fear God and be occupied with his commandments and doing what he's telling you to do and be focused on his word, then guess what happens to you? You get wisdom. There was no man more wise than the grandson. Oh boy. Can they hear me? Can they hear me? They will bud forth, you see, verse 14, and give you a sweet savor as frankincense and flourish as a lily. Send forth a smell and sing a song of praise. Bless I am in all his works. What does the grandson tell you to do? Praise I am with thanksgiving. Is that what I tell you guys? Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Don't get down. Don't be heavy. Death comes because of heaviness. So release all the heaviness in your life and be joyful today. Sing a new song of praise. Is that not what the grandson says to do? See how it's all connected like a Lego? Watch this. What else do I tell you to do? To learn his name and magnify it. Let's see. Verse 15. Magnify his name and show forth his praise with the songs of your lips. And with harps, I am safe, I am holy, I am secure, I am smart, I am wise, I am loved. Do you guys want me to keep on singing like I'm in Singing in the Rain or what? That's what I tell you guys to do. You hear that? He said, with harps, and in praising him, you shall say after this manner. So you're going to say words like this. Let's see what kind of words you're going to say. All the works of I am are exceeding good, and whatsoever he commandeth, I am that is, shall be accomplished in due season. So if I say I am healthy, even though I look like I'm sick right now, if I claim I am healthy in due season, I will receive that if I have faith and believe it so. And how do I prove I believe it? By exhibiting the attributes that would show that I already have it. I'd not be crying and sad and snotting at the nose if I had been healed. Would I be? No, I'd be happy, rejoicing, and singing, and dancing, and leaping. So then I need to be in that state of mind right now. Let me get up and rejoice and sing a song to Abba, 'cause I'm happy, happy, happy as can be. Y'all don't understand that or something? All right. And none may say, what is this? Wherefore is that? For at time convenient they shall all be sought out. At his commandment the waters stood as a heap, and at the words of his mouth the receptacles of waters. And his commandment is done whatsoever pleaseth him, and none can hinder when he will save. I am. So what did I tell you guys? I told you about a power that existed that nothing can stop. Is that what this is telling you here? That nothing can hinder it once you claim it? It will happen in its due season? That's why he said, don't get weary. Don't get weary with well doing, for in due season you shall reap. Come on! Carnally minded people can't understand why I just did that. What I'm saying to you is, this is compounding over compounding over compounding. Every time I drop a message, what's really going on here and what you need to be focused on and doing, it just compounds over and over and over. How can't you guys see it? Only the wise shall see it and understand. That's why I'm teaching you how to get wisdom today, aren't I? But what does this world teach you how to get? You know what it teach you how to get. Watch this here, little fly. The works of all flesh are before him, and nothing can be hid from his eyes. He seeth from everlasting to everlasting, and there is nothing wonderful before him. A man need not to say, what is this? Wherefore is that? For he hath made all things for their uses. His blessing covered the dry land as a river, and watered it as a flood. As he hath turned the waters into saltness, so shall the heathen inherit his wrath. And his ways are plain unto the holy. As his ways are plain unto the holy, see, told you, the wise shall understand and get it, see? The ones who are hungering and thirsting after righteousness and are diligently hammering at those swords, being wise smiths, see? As his ways are plain unto the holy, so are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked. For the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for sinners. The principal things for the whole use of man's life, listen good, little flock, are these: water, fire, iron, salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil, and clothing. These are the principal things for the whole use of man's life. You hear that? All these things are for good to the godly. So to the sinners, they are turned unto evil. So instead of water being free for everybody, they charge for it. Instead of fire being free for everybody to stay warm in the winter, they charge you bills and utilities for it. Instead of using iron to make plowshares and pruning hooks, they use iron to make bullets and to make weapons and bombs to kill. The salt they take and they charge you for that. The flour of wheat they make very expensive and make food and victuals very expensive and hard to be paid for. Honey, milk, the blood of the grape, oil, and clothes. It's all the same. They use it for evil and for control. You see that there? There be spirits that are created for vengeance. So they're going to do the vengeance of God, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they shall pour out their force, their power, and appease the wrath of him that made them. You hear that, little flock? Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts, scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. Vessels fitted for destruction. Do you see it? They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon the earth. Who? Those who execute the vengeance, the saints of the Most High, with the double-edged blade, ready to execute vengeance upon the heathen. You hear that? With the high praises in their mouth. That's who's waiting for the commandment to execute vengeance. See it? Watch this. And they shall be ready, too, when it's time to do it. And it is time. It's already been time. You see, I'm one of those vessels. I told you, I'm Abel the Avenger. So the vengeance is in my blood. Now, you guys shouldn't even be feeling weird about me saying that. Now that you've read this, let me read it one more time for those who didn't hear it. Let's go back. It says, make sure we're not anywhere strange. Verse 28, there be spirits that are created for vengeance. Right there. See, ain't nothing I said that's strange. You hear me? Watch this. When their time is come, so those vessels of vengeance, when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. They're going to do everything he tell them to do. Therefore, from the beginning, I was resolved. That means I accepted and decided and thought upon these things and have left them in writing. All the works of I am are good, and he will give every needful thing in due season, so that a man cannot say this is worse than that. He don't know. For in time they shall all be well approved, and therefore praise ye I am with the whole heart and mouth, and bless the what? Name of I am. Therefore, this is why this is what you should do. Be praising God with your whole heart, your whole mind, your whole soul, and everything. Just like he said to do in Ecclesiastes. It never changes, little flock. So what would be my advice to you? To do something vain or to do something that's actually going to stand the test of time, which we just read what that is here. Getting wisdom and knowledge. That will give you a memorial in this earth that will not be taken away from you. Everybody will speak about you. It's just like the grandson of right thought. Nobody can get past me, hear me talk, say they love God in the Bible, hear me teach the word, and then walk off and forget I exist. No, they can't. No, they can't. Because they're going to get to a little specific part in that Bible when it says, who is the man named the branch? And when they get to that, they're going to think about me and what I said to them. And that's my memorial. And it will stand the test of time, and it will always be. It will always be the pearl of great price that I found, that I sold everything else to obtain it. And I did. And I proved to you today that I did. I left all the vain work. I left all the hammering and all of the noise and all of the diligent working and focused after the thing he told me to do. So I would advise you to do the same thing today, little flock, because it's the true benefit and the true thing that you need in your life today to succeed. Y'all be blessed today, little flock. Silawam Israel.